Recording is on.
I wish I could change your voice just like those navigation things, but it doesn't let me. Oh well.
You need to have spouse mode. I told you not to drive down that road. Turn right.
Why did you buy one more radio? All right. So, yeah, things are hopefully going to go smoothly here. I'm in a different environment down at my dad's place in Mississauga, just the way my schedule worked out for this evening. So far, so good. I'm kind of juggling three balls here. I'm recording the meeting, running, I guess, hosting the meeting, as well as doing a little presentation. So anyway, don't cut me a little slack if things don't go totally smoothly. I know that I know nobody's going to give me any guff here. Wipe that grin off your face, Dave.
So did you get evicted from the farm?
She who must be obeyed says that there's no more room for me in the farm with all of my boxes and boxes of gear. So I have to find alternate accommodations. So sad. I mean, she said I could have the coop, but it's slightly less stinkier at my dad's place. He's not here, so I can say that freely. So. Anyway, all right.
Hey, who's that guy that just joined says recording?
What about? Record, but the recording person? That's my recording laptop.
I know. I'm just being silly.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said.
Very suspicious dude.
Suspicious record. Well, I mean, in the past, I've called it null, which was even more suspicious, right? So I figured recording made a little bit more sense. And Mike, MKX, I see you're on the call. You made it here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Good evening, everybody.
Okay. So I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to make it this evening. Do you have your photos organized at your end? Because I did throw them into a Google album, the ones you sent. So I don't know if you want to maybe.
No, you can.
Yeah, I'll let you do the narration. If
yeah, well, yeah, I'm just company here, so I'll go for the ride.
Okay, yeah, because I did go through all of your slides, and you know, there might be some things you want to highlight or talk about or what have you. I think there's about close to 100 of them altogether, 90 maybe, something that you send on to Peter. So
yeah, and I think I sent them to Dave too. I'm not sure, but otherwise, yeah, anybody else can jump in too. It's a free for all, so yeah, the more conversation, the better.
Yeah, you certainly got lots of photos of the tables. We got a few, but you definitely were busier with your camera. So I just always seem to forget and get too wrapped up in the moment. So, but anyway, it's great you're here. Thanks very much. So,
oh, no problem.
Okay, so we might as well get the ball rolling. I see a whole bunch of new faces and call signs here, which is great. I presume this is pursuant to our announcement that went out. I know there's been a lot of activity on the signups anyway. Not sure about on the topics and the forum posts and all that on our groups page, but anyway, a good sign. So 19 participants, well, 18 participants. We won't count recording. So, all right. So this is our. For those of you that are new, we have 2 meetings a month, the first and third Wednesdays of each month. First one, this one, is what we call our AF Mixer. So very informal. The bulk of it is really going around the screen, so to speak, and talking about what's current on your workbench or anything else that you'd want to bring up. So very casual, kind of like water cooler talk, I guess, if anyone still knows what that means. So. And then the third Wednesday is a more formal, where we'll have longer presentations, you know, sometimes 20, 30 minutes, sometimes one, sometimes more than one, but typically at least one full length so to speak, presentation. But feel free if you do have something that you want to bring up on our mixer nights. That's a short take, or topics that you want to expand on a little bit. Feel free. This is the only thing that actually is on our agenda for tonight is the overview of Hamcation 2023 down in Orlando, Florida. There were 3 from the group here. I believe Peter, is on the call there, and Mike, who was speaking to you earlier, and myself. First-time attendees, myself and Peter. Mike, I'm not sure. I think you've been before, as far as I'm aware. So, yeah. So, anyway, does anyone else on the call have anything that they want to bring up that's a little bit more of a topic? Ken, you've got something. Did you want to?
Yeah. How about the new people introduce themselves?
Yep. Okay. All right.
If they don't mind.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So maybe, I'll go around the screen with who I see on my screen. But I'll assume that there are no other like quick talks going on. If there are, just bring it up. There is a chat window that you can use there as well if you want to bring up a topic in the background. So Belinda, you're first on my rotation, my screen rotation. So welcome.
Thank you. As you know, my name is Belinda. I live in the little hamlet of Wallace, New York, which is in the western part of New York State, closer to the, I guess, Ohio-Pennsylvania border. It's in the Finger Lakes. And a friend of mine, Rick, sent this to me, and I thought, gee, I might actually be able to see what the Hamcation is all about. So it's nice to meet everybody.
Good.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome aboard. I love the call sign too. Look at that, only one letter off, KD2, KC2. I feel like I'm, the vindication is great. So I get no end of ribbing about my American call sign, even though, I've born and raised in Canada. So anyway, long story. Don't want to bore you with that. Who else do I see on my screen here that is perhaps the first time? I guess that would be yourself, Mike. Want to say hello to the group?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. It's Mike V3MKX. We're up here in Coldwater, Ontario, just 8 minutes west of Orillia and about an hour north of Toronto. I've been physically to the group before COVID. Or actually, just before COVID, I took a trip with Peter, POA from Kingston all the way out there, and we took a trip to the factory there where they had the meeting and that. But otherwise, met quite a few of you at many Hamfest before and Dayton, that sort of thing. I'm a big QRPer, and I do enjoy home brewing stuff, building things, and all facets of ham radio. So I really enjoy it. So there you go.
Okay, great. Thank you, and welcome again. On my screen, I see, I'm sure you've been on these calls before. Peter, DRS, you're not a new face.
No, I'm not new. I'm not a regular, but I do come now and then.
Yeah.
And have done, like, I think I participated in the very first buildathon, so I've been around for a while.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Welcome for this evening's event. That's great. My screen is being hidden here a little bit, but John, DFK? No, sorry, FDK.
FDK, yeah. Okay, I've been on here once or twice before. Enjoyed the meetings. I thought I'd come and join with you fellas. And also say good evening to my dad there, MKX. Good evening.
Yeah, you mean son.
My dad and my son, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Make somebody laugh.
Yeah, there you go.
What are you laughing at, Eric?
I was waiting for that correction, but who am I to say? I mean, my dad's done that too. So, you know, that's okay. I guess it's a thing that happens after a while, right? So
Yeah. Okay.
what are you going to do? And who's this Dave, VE3OOI? Where are you from? Oh, wait a second. Oh, no. Okay. Just turn around. I see our beach, VE3, oh my God, OIL, is that right? Are you there? Maybe you stepped away. Okay, that's fine. And then Paul, VE3SU. You're muted.
No, yep, I unmuted. Hi, Mike. How are you tonight, Mike? Good. And I want to say hi to Belinda because I sent Rick, her friend, the email there. And Belinda, I want to say hi to you. You probably don't recognize me, but I was one of the guys that would go down to Horseheads and harass the whole bunches down there where you were cooking up those fine steaks. Anyways, thanks for having me here tonight, Eric. Looking forward to it.
Okay. Yes, I didn't recognize you till you started talking, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome to see you.
I had more hair back then.
So did I.
Yeah. Okay, and best to John there, FDK. Hi, John. Okay, back to you, Eric.
Yep. All right. Thanks. Okay. Well, OIL, if you do come in at some point into the meeting, maybe I should put something in the chat, but whatever. Anyway, hopefully. Oh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm I saw the link. The link was forwarded to me, so I thought I'd just check in and listen. That's mostly what I'm here to do, is listen. I live in Freelton, which is now part of Hamilton. I mostly do VHF and VHF roving stuff.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Well, thanks for coming this evening and attending, and we'll hear from you a little bit later on. So, Ken.
Yeah, for the new people, we have a groups.io that even if you don't want to participate in it, if you wouldn't mind registering, and the more the merrier. Just go to groups.io and search on SOAREX, SOAREX.
Which, in case anyone doesn't know, stands for the Southern Ontario or South Ontario, Southern Ontario Radio, Amateur Radio Experimenters. Wow, this doesn't roll off the tongue just yet. Ken, do you know how many people are signed up on the groups?
I think there's 25 so far.
25? Okay. All right. Okay. So we'll get started with the Hamcation 2023. So that was a 3-day event, very similar to Hamvention, if you've been there before. Really, a Hamvention Junior is what I thought of it after the event. You know, less vendors. The vendors that are there have smaller displays. The flea market / boneyard is also smaller, less tables and all of that, but pretty much the same in all other facets. There are talks. There's one area that I thought was a little bit different, which I actually found kind of enjoyable because you got to talk to people. It was an indoor, I wouldn't call it a boneyard, but it was like one notch up. So these were people often selling things that, boneyard things in my experience tend to be a little older, a little more beat up, a little longer in the tooth. These were sort of in between things that were, maybe not the latest generation, but the next thing down the ladder. So you got to talk to people that were the owners of the equipment and operators, and they really sort of knew their stuff. There were a few commercial vendors in there as well, but anyway, let's without further ado, let's get started with the slideshow. So let me see how this will go. Share my screen, or at least my tab. So hopefully everybody can see that. I think it's popped up.
Yeah,
looking good there. Everybody able to see that analyzer?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. All right. So anyway, as I said, 3 days, February 10th, 11th, and 12th, down in sunny Orlando, Florida. Weather was beautiful. It was about 20, and sorry that I don't have like a nice sunny outdoor shot. There might be one coming up later, but to start off with here, this is just sort of a raw slideshow we've got going. But yeah, it was 27, 28 degrees and sunshine pretty much every day that we were there in Orlando. So I'm not sure what the overall attendance was, but I think somewhere on the order of 15,000, maybe, give or take, maybe 20. So not quite as big as Ham mentioned, but the second largest is what I understand. So anyway, this is one of our things seen on the table at in the swaps area, as they called it. Nice Ukrainian rig expert, 55 meg analyzer. So just kind of gave you an idea, and it was probably about $200 less than what you'd pay for it, which is still for sale up here at Radio World, for instance. So there was some significant money to be saved in the swaps area, but that's the inside of the swaps. So like I said, a mix of commercial and people that were selling things. There were also people that were home brewing their own things, cobbling together enclosures and other things. So there was almost an element of do-it-yourself kind of things on the some of the tables. So but well attended. This is probably the Friday, based on the beginning of the slideshow here. So there was the Cat in the Hat guy, which I think is a stalwart at the Hamvention as well. Actually, I'm going to back up one slide here. You see at the end of the hallway there, that Skycraft. There will be a picture later on, so just remember that. It's a local vendor in Orlando of all things, some ham stuff and lots of other. It's like a surplus place. So anyway, good mix of new and old to be had there. Display of microscopes, USB microscopes that were actually of quite good quality, and again, surprisingly good prices on some of these things. You see them retail for $300 or $400 if you looked it up online, and they're being sold for less than half of that. So and some of these are images as well. So Peter, I'm not sure if you're on the call here, if you're able to talk or not. If you are, feel free to jump in and talk up some of the slides, which I believe might be yours. So, new old stock in tubes, plenty of that to look at there. An old scope. Not sure what I'm looking at there. Is that a trans? No. Huh? It's like not a test set, is it?
Yeah, the communications monitor.
Oh, it's like a service monitor. Yeah.
Correct.
Right. But unfortunately, the sticker says parts on it. So yeah. Your usual assortment of off-lease laptops. Again, decent prices for a lot of it. But there's a homebrewish looking couple items on top there. Old spec analyzer. Vacuum tubes. Lots of your older equipment, Collins gear there, I see. A whole bunch. We kind of like this actually. So there were forums. There were 2 tracks of forums going on, both the Friday and the Saturday of the event. Much like Hamvention, the Sunday is really just a clean up, run around to your last. They're there for maybe a couple hours before they start packing things up and tearing down. And essentially, it's a ghost town by the 3rd or 4th hour in most of the areas. But anyway, Peter and I attended a couple of the forums that were of interest. The topics were just as varied as we'd seen at other big hamfests. This one that we were at, I believe, was the principle of Ham Radio Deluxe, going over latest things about his software and future editions that are on deck to come. So, well, we like this the slogan on his shirt here. I think it's actually who is that? Elecraft. I believe that's their that's one of their shirts. Don't just operate, build, learn, and explore. And thought that was kind of appropriate for our maybe something to modify and use as our byline for our newly minted SOAREX group. So, but anyway, yeah, forum talks were again lots of ballooning. All the current kind of topics. Some of them were a little bit more on the commercial side, and others were very homebrewish. So MFJ was there in most of its glory with a decent display of their wares. AMSAT, no, this is just Aero Antenna with some RF Finder, I guess, being represented by another Gigaparts vendor. So. Quicksilver was there with again some of these things that you've probably seen before. Go boxes not go boxes, sorry, but power supply enclosures with all the gadgets and accoutrements on it. Food, I'm not sure why we have this picture in there other than just to show off the overpriced food area. I think 2 sausage on a buns with some coleslaw slapped on top of it was $40 Canadian. So, ouch. But
not 40, 14.
14 US, but plus, right? That was the charge on my credit card. Anyway, so there you go. But it was again kind of nice being able to enjoy a sausage and a cold beer on a hot, strong Sunday in the middle of February. So that was a treat. Little next unit of computing modules there on for, again, decent prices. I actually did end up picking up a couple of those. So probably use one of them as my daily driver. There were some political tents there. I guess that's Peter taking a picture of me looking at the Trump flags, car flags, or whatever. Going to bring home one for my better half, but decided against it. Oh yeah, these guys on the right anyway, I think they were selling like survival type. If that was the flashlight vendors. No, these are inside. This is the commercial area, but ARRL had an aisle there. Again, nothing quite like the Hamvention display that they have, but it was they were there. Didn't have much to sell, no books. Renew your membership and talk to all the various people in the different departments, but that was about it. Here's the Skycraft surplus. Never made it to that. Apparently that is kind of the Mendelssohn's of Orlando, but just as the timing worked out, never made it there. I was told afterward I should have gone, but there was only so much room in the Prius. So yeah, backups, power supplies. I actually purchased that one. I have to say that it's working just fine.
Did you buy it, that flying saucer?
I didn't know. I was tempted, but again, it would just kill the coefficient of drag on the Prius. Would have cost me a whole lot more than the $100 that it did to get down and back. That's why I was pleasantly surprised with that.
It was the only thing that I convinced him not to buy.
Although I did talk to some of my brothers, that little hatch opened up underneath it, and we discussed. Or was that your relatives, Peter? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, Peter. I had to borrow money from Peter, so he wanted a record of that. Nice guy. Not sure what I'm looking at. That must have been one of Peter's shots there, but something of interest. Another test set. Yeah. All right. There you go. Whole bunch of power meters.
You know, looking at these those meters there, Eric, I was blown away by how many of the, you know, the little slugs you get for the bird watt meters.
Yep. Yep.
I couldn't believe how many I saw down there. They were everywhere.
At what price?
I didn't pay attention since I don't have a bird watt meter, but there was an awful lot of them down there.
They were $20 each, Norm.
Okay, why don't you buy me some, Mike?
You never asked.
Okay, I got enough of them anyway. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, there you go. I guess if you're in the market, I didn't even notice them. I saw the meters, but not the slugs. So anyway, again, Peter making me feel guilty about my purchases, but there you go, doing some bicep curls with my bag of loot. So that box contained an ID 51A, which I was quite pleasantly happy with the purchase of, I guess. Predecessor to the 52 that I had kind of been looking at the ICOM booth. But anyway, it came with the RT programming software and, you know, all the other things that it does. Something else significant I'm forgetting. But anyway, my first piece of D-Star equipment. There you go. This was, was this the ballooning? No, EME, right, EME. Yes, that was another talk. So this is actually...
It was a nice talk.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, just some of the, you know, I guess, current goings on in the EME world and a good overview, even if you knew nothing about it. So,
well, he was aiming at, you know, getting newbies into it.
Yeah.
And how minimalistic you can be and actually make a contact.
Right. Yeah, so definitely interesting talk there. There was also the air-conditioned forum areas that you can see in the tent in the back. So, but, you know, really pleasant way to enjoy a, you know, whatever, ham forums. So a little bit different from the way they do them at Hamvention in Dayton. So, and yeah, this is one guy's Volkswagen, rather decked out with lots of antennae, porcupine, I guess we'd call them. But I thought we had more pictures of that. There might be some more later on, but he had quite.
You better have the inside pictures.
I think there are later on. Yeah, no idea why I took that picture, but there you go. Oh yeah, okay. So there's the boot of the fellow's car with all of his head units and amplifiers and what have you. This is him, so you can see his list of 7 or 8 radios in there, and you know, double the number of antennas bristling out. But
I think they call them rovers.
Yeah, this is Super Rover, I guess. But there you go. So something to aspire to, I guess, if that's your jam. So yeah, there he is, mobile only since 1995, claims. And yeah, I guess that's his significant other in the shotguns. So, but yeah, you know, I think I have a lot of junk in my car, and then I look at something like this and I feel a lot better. So, yeah, I forget he said how many hundreds of feet of coax he has in his car, but it's pretty impressive. That's the window pass through. So, Anyway, there you go. Even better. I guess both Peter and I were taking pictures. So.
Was that an electric car by chance, or gas powered?
No, no. I think it's just a standard diesel GTI, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gas.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, this is outside along the one of the buildings. Again, some people with their own cottage industry displays going on. That was, I think, a local, or no, Storm Chaser, right? That's what that was.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So lots of upcoming little gadgets as well. Display for if you want something a little bit different. You want a meter display on your 705, or I guess you can probably make it even customizable. But they were showing this off as a up and coming product, customizable for various rigs and even older ones, limited basically by only what is available on the CAT or data ports on radios. So I was specifically interested in getting a display, something along these lines for a 817, which is a pretty meager display, I would say at best. And he said, yeah, they're working on something that to make it a little bit more eyeball friendly. So there's the RV parking / boneyard. Lots of pop-up tents there with various things. Nothing's nothing that you wouldn't expect at the normal tailgate type party. Oh, that was our Airbnb. Very nice touch that was only about 4 miles away from the event, and that was waiting for me when I arrived there on the Thursday night. So this is all of Peter's loot that he.
Well, let's stop right now.
So
this is Eric's loot.
No, that's yours. Anyway,
mine's coming up.
That wouldn't even fit in my car. What are you talking about? So,
drop it to the roof.
Put in the saucer. You're right. Okay, I'll fess up. So, and that was mine. That was my.
And there's mine.
So there you go.
That's it. A book and a cable.
Yeah, but who would you rather be at a party with, right? Huh? Yeah. Okay, rub it in. Oh, and some documents. Or is that mine? I don't know. Probably mine too. Oh, anyway.
Oh, my free! I got a free hat. Full disclosure.
This was a very sketchy Chinese
food
place that we went to. Yeah, it was an interesting place where the Airbnb was. A little doubtful. The immediate businesses were, in addition to this, 2 liquor stores where everything is behind plexiglass, no self-serve. Was it a pawn shop?
That was bulletproof glass, not plexi.
Was it bulletproof? I don't know.
The reason why I have Eric holding up the $1 bill is there because I didn't want people to think I was taking a picture of their place because you couldn't believe it. But if you actually zoomed in on that shot there, you wouldn't believe that the paint was peeling off the wall. Look at it. And Eric takes me out for dinner here.
Hey, well,
you're a cheap date.
Yeah,
was it
cheap date?
Was it edible lead paint?
Yeah, that's what they served the dinner on. We got takeout.
Well, I guess I just figured the treatment was commensurate with all the harassment that I got all weekend long. So that was you get what you deserve, right?
It's all Eric could afford after what it had.
Yeah, there you go. So the M17 project is still trucking along. For those of you that may not be aware, it's the open digital codec, I believe, sums it up. Protocol, really. Somewhat related to, I think, the FreeDV, but or at least aligned with it. So anyway, they're still working on getting that project going. And I think that might be the end of our slideshow at least. Yep, that's what it's telling me. So I will stop sharing that window.
Yeah. Eric, can I make a few comments on Hamcation while you're getting organized there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Good evening again, everybody. Couple things about Hamcation. It actually runs Thursday to Sunday. Thursday's a vendor's day. That's where a lot of the deals are. All the brand name, for people that haven't gone there, all the brands are there, 90% of them, like Elecraft, Buddy Pole, ICOM, Yesu. Kenwood was not there. You can get a bunch of swag, all kinds of free hats and stickers and all kinds of stuff. But I will tell you, excuse me, one little trick. If you're looking for something from some of the major dealers there, or people like any of the antenna people or anything like that, go up to them and ask them if you can purchase any of their products that they have on display after the Hamfest, because then they don't have to take it home. Radio buddy of mine, Greg Hiroshenko up in Ottawa, he went to the AMSAT, one of the satellite displays in Dayton, and he asked the guys, you know, can I buy the antenna that you have on display? And they said, sure, you can take it apart and get it after the Hamfest. And he saved like 30% because they didn't have to do anything, you know, that sort of thing. Excuse me. As for deals at the Hamfest, I've been going there. I think this was my 8th year going to Hamcation. It was the largest attendance on Friday, massive amount of people. As for deals that I came home with, I picked up a Yesu FT8900 quad band. The gentleman said it had on a sticker saying the on-off switch was broken. And I said, okay, that's not a big deal. And he wanted $40 for it. And it came with all the accessories. It was mint. And I talked him down to 30. And I ended up bringing it home. I reseated the ribbon cable from the main body to the remote head. The thing works perfect. So there's deals to be had. I also came home with a couple CW keys and a great deal on a Texan 880 shortwave receiver with sideband. Brand new in the box for $80. Great deal there. And I'll show you one of my best finds. If anyone's ever seen one of these, I'd be surprised, unless it was maybe 35, 40 years ago. But I picked up this here, and it's a, can you see it there?
It's a little fuzzy, but
it's a Heathkit digital LCD clock. I've never seen one before, and I used to collect Heathkits years ago. And it's a, I guess, an injected type of a hard plastic. And I picked it up for $8, but the guy didn't have change for a 10, so I ended up getting it for $9. But I've never seen one. It's the coolest thing.
Is it Bakelite?
No, it's not Bakelite. No, it isn't. It is something other, some weird and wonderful thing there. But
plastic foam or something.
Yeah, yeah. But it's the coolest thing, and that made my day. Made the trip worthwhile. But otherwise, the one thing that you have to consider about the Hamfest too is the exchange rate. You know, you're paying anywhere between 30 and 35 or 37 cents on the buck, depending on how long you've had the money, that sort of thing. But as for other deals, if there's any Collins collectors here, make sure you're sitting down here. I could have picked up from the Brownsville Hamfest, which was the week later. I could have picked up the Gold Dust Twins, the 75A4 receiver plus the KWS1 transmitter, both of them for $500, and both were mint. And I just didn't have room in the car. You know, I don't think my wife would have enjoyed riding on the roof racks. But
she could have flown home, Mike.
Yeah, I never thought of that. But that was one of the deals. Brand new mag loops, MFJs. I don't know if you priced them out lately at Radio World. They sell for $1,000 now at Radio World. Brand new ones there were $200. and all kinds of other stuff. If you look around, you know your prices, you'll come up with deals upon deals. And I'll tell you this other cool thing that we've done. We went down, my wife and I drove down. We were there Wednesday night, and we stayed at the Holiday Inn, the Orange Resort timeshare place. And they offered us beforehand 4 free nights. And it was 4 free nights for $100. So we took them up on it, watched the 2-hour sales pitch, and basically had our hamcation stay for free, you know. So little odds and ends around that. And another thing, if you do drive down, I don't know if you guys have it, Eric and Peter, the Sun Pass, Easy Pass.
Yes.
That makes your life a lot easier driving through the States with any tolls and that. And
Absolutely.
They give you a discount for using it too.
Yeah. I was happy to see that. I didn't realize it's in so many states now. It's like 17, 20 states or something like that. So
yeah. It covers most of the eastern seaboard that way. And it even covers crossing the border. Not Windsor because it's private, but, you know, Peace Bridge, Niagara Falls, you go across and you have to pay the $4 or whatever to get back into the country.
It covers that Thousand Islands as well.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
And
speaking of border, Mike, how did you guys make out with the border with customs? Is it just, you know,
no problem.
You expect to pay, but they just said thank you and carried on?
Yeah. I told them how much I spent, and I told them you know, how much my wife spent, and you know, brought back a bottle of whiskey each, and that's it. And they said, see you later. So there's no problems there. Also, for anybody else about the Hamfest, if you've never been, there's 3 large buildings. 2 are Hamfest, and the one is all commercial vendors. And then there's the food court with a bunch of different food there, and then the symposiums that go on. I don't know of any, maybe Eric or Peter or anybody else can comment. I don't know of any evening events that they have going on, like 4 days in May sort of thing. But otherwise, it is a great Hamfest to attend. And if you're looking for deals, that's the place, because you will find them. Just walk around and know what you're looking for. There's crazy deals on certain things.
Yeah, no, I'll echo that. You're right. I mean, it did seem that everybody there, including the commercial vendors, well, not so much them, but there were a lot more willingness to negotiate on price than Hamvention. I've noticed.
Well, the funny part too is I think everybody was glad to get out, and I think people kept, you know, Hamvention as a after COVID, let's get out and have fun sort of thing, because people were spending in the commercial building. I'd say at least half the people had bags in their hands with product and that sort of thing. Begali had a line up there. N8, what is it? N8 SRA or whatever. The other CW place had a line up there. Buddy Pole, he was almost sold out of stock. Like it's crazy. The people were spending. And I spoke to Jim there, the organizer of the Swaps building, the flea market building, and they were sold out. You know, it's a well-attended event, and it is a lot of fun. And it's rain or shine too, so you can do a heck of a lot if it's raining out.
I heard there were some people that just got like free hats and a book and a cable, and that was about it, which I don't know. I don't understand, but
yeah, there's one in every crowd. I don't know. Eastern Ontario people.
Yeah, interesting comment Eric made about the deal, but people are willing to deal. I've been going to Dayton Hamvention for many years, as Mike has. And I remember the first year I went with Fred Hammond many years ago, almost 40 years ago. And you used to take a survey of the grounds, and then you find out what you're looking for, all the different, you go back and negotiate. Well, last time I was there in 2018, 2019, you go up to a vendor, you say, you want $20? They says, I'll give you 10. He just said, keep walking, basically. He wasn't interested. You know, if you don't want to buy it, somebody else will. So I'm glad to hear the negotiating part is coming back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot the other deal. I picked up 700 feet of really high quality RG8 X coax, brand new on the reel, for $50. You know, it's crazy.
If you knew what you were looking for, there was good stuff. Now, on this, by the same token, what it was surprising. I mean, this is nothing new, but the price of the some of these you know, older rigs, you know, ones that I bought 10 years ago that are the same or more. For instance, the first generation Baofeng handy talkie that Dave V30I bought whatever 8-9 years ago or so. We bought them for $95, and they were selling new old stock for, I think, 125 or something like that. That was at least the sticker at the swaps. So I'm like, But I mean, you could even get, there was like a Flex 6300, I think, at the swaps table as soon as you walked in. So I mean, it was everything from the cheapest, you know, Chinese HT to, you know, Flex for sale there. So Mike, also thank you for in one of your emails there. I've put it in the chat, but anyone who wants to see a 1-hour walkthrough of Hamcation, somebody has put that together. I assume that semi-edited video, narrated.
There's a couple.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's a couple on YouTube now, and actually some of them are actually very good. Stay away from the ones the podcasters do, because they're down a different avenue. If you get the mom and pop type of video of Hamcation, they're actually pretty good. And there's 2 of them that I sent messages to and said thanks for a great video, because it's nice that they actually do that. But you're right, some of the gear, to give you a rundown, there were 2 or 3 Elecraft KX3s there out of the whole Hamfest, and there were only 3 K2s there this year. So it's funny, people are keeping the portable gear, and some of the, you know, old Kenwood 440s and 870s, 850s, all that stuff's being recycled. But I think with the POTA, Parks on the Air stuff and going portable, all that stuff's you know, being bought up quickly, and people are keeping it because a lot of the time they can't get a hold of the stuff, or, you know, supply and parts supply, that sort of thing. They can't get it or build it. So
okay. Peter, did you want to, I assume, yeah, there you are. Did you want to add anything about your experiences?
No, I think that everything was pretty much covered there, Eric, but thank you.
Okay. Maybe I will just bring up in case, and we can spend as much or as little time as you want on this, but these are your shots. So again, I'm sure a lot of these are just personal for you. Do you want me to quickly rifle through these, or?
Yeah, if you want. I used to sell those radios at Radio Shack years ago, and I was surprised to see one. I haven't seen one in ages, but you can flip through them just to give people the idea. That's the Friday. That's how busy it was.
There's that Flex I was talking about. I don't remember which model exactly, but, you know, just for instance, you know, it wasn't super cheap, but I'm sure there was some negotiating available.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of test stuff, and there was a old Ten-Tech Omni D for sale with matching power supply working. They had it working there, plugged in, ready to go, and it wouldn't sell for $125. And it's funny, as I usually take these pictures and then I go through them at home, and it's amazing how much stuff sells.
There's those bird plugs you were talking about.
Yeah, there's more. They had tons of them there. But I'd say a good percentage of stuff sold. Like even that, the Helicrafters and that old radio, the wooden one up top, they're gone. And, you know, old boat anchors and collecting and restoration, it's still alive.
I didn't even notice that Philco. I probably would have jammed it in the car if I'd seen that. That's nice.
Mike, is this Hamcation or they?
Oh yeah,
Hamcation.
This is all Hamcation. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else, just feel free to jump in. This isn't really presentation per se. This, if you got something you want to ask or whatever, feel free.
And even those CW keys, you don't have to go back, but those CW keys, they all sold. And his prices on them were pretty high. I think I had another picture with prices on them. They were up there, $80, $100, that sort of thing, but they all sold. So, you know, people want that stuff.
It's sure nice though when you take the pictures, Mike, and it's not your fault per se, but it's nice if they have a price sticker on it and it's written large enough that when you do take the picture, you can look at that and you figure, geez, I should have gone, or, oh, I'm glad I didn't go.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's hit and miss. You don't know until you ask, that sort of thing. But they had everything and anything there, you know.
I found though that like things didn't get snatched up. Like, you know, pretty much everything I had made a mental note was there the next time, you know, and I snagged it. I mean, my two major acquisitions was that ID51A and the I did pick up that antenna analyzer, the Rig Expert. So,
what day were you there? Saturday?
All three, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know anything about the Thursday. That's not an announced thing.
No, that's vendors.
That's only vendors can.
Yeah. Vendors and setup. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That's when Mike goes, is when vendors set up.
Yeah.
Well, that's a trick. You have to buy a table. Tell me if I'm going too fast.
Yeah, no.
Here, but, that's...
Yeah, they had everything there from the 1000Ds to the Begalis. That's an overview that I took, the next picture there of the outside vending.
Right. Oh, yeah, up top.
Yeah, that's the outside, part of the outside vendors, and then the next picture should be another different angle of that. Oh no, it isn't. Doesn't matter. But it's massive. It's huge.
Yeah, like everywhere you look, you go down another aisle, and there was more. So again, not quite Hamvention numbers, but plenty for the time you're there. So
how much was that R2? Go back to the Drake 2B. I can't see it. 125.
75 or best offer.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was the A or B.
B.
There you go, Norm. Start driving.
You know, one comment I will make was, and Dave, just to let you know, I only left Eric alone for about an hour, and he left where I was sitting for empty-handed, and he came back with 2 armloads of stuff. But anyway, I was sitting at the picnic bench, and what was pretty cool was, you know, we met Bob from Atlanta there area. He came down, and then while we were sitting at the picnic bench, chatting away, this one guy said to me, "Hey, I think I know you." And I turned around and took a look, and sure enough, it was a ham from the Peel Club. I hadn't seen in over 20 years, so it was kind of nice to touch base with him. And of course, we another fellow from Kingston and his buddy came down, and so we had a nice little meet up with some friends from north of the 49th and the south.
That's good. Oh, I noticed Peter Kingston Club is having a ham fest this year. That's fantastic. And if they need any help, I'd be more than happy to help out. That's the other view of the outside ham fest and trailers, campers. So it's a big event.
Thierry?
Yeah, that was one thing, Mike, I noticed was the number of RVs and campers and whatnot that were down there. I was actually floored by the number of them.
Well, I was talking to a guy from Chicago, and he brought his 5th wheel down with his Ford F-250 truck, and he said it cost him $1,000 in gas. And I'm going, that's insane.
Well, that's why I was happy spending my $100 in gas in the Prius. But you know, then again, he could haul a whole lot more back than me. So
yeah, it's crazy.
You could have rented a trailer, Eric.
Rented a what?
You could have rented a trailer. And
oh yeah. I don't know what the towing capacity of the Prius is. It's good point though. A roof bag, if nothing else.
Well, you might have gotten it up to 100 or even 200 pounds, Eric.
If any of the QRP guys, if you look to the bottom right of the picture, you see the famous Ten-Tech 50-watt QRP solid state amplifier there for sale. I think
50, is that the one at the bottom?
The one with the meters.
Oh, the meter.
Piece of paper on it. Yeah.
Damn. Oh, had I known.
Yeah, that's a solid state amp, and I think the price tag on it was $200.
Huh. And does that go with it? The thing underneath?
The power supply?
Oh, that's
a separate 12-volt power supply.
Okay.
It matches it. You could use it, but you don't need it.
Don't need to. Okay. Wow. Damn. So I had my eye on one of those 50-watt things you find on AliExpress, and I took a pass on it. I wanted about 110 for it. I'm like,
oh yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah. So I'm like, but this Ten-Tech, that would have been nice. There's that chaser again. Bigali.
Yeah, they were busy.
Yeah. That was a nice antenna there. Yeah, we got some pictures of that hex beam.
See a lot of guys using that hex antenna too.
I was just going to say that, Norm. Anybody using it, and how does it fare for winter weather?
Yeah. Guess depends where you are, how exposed you are.
Terry Hirsch, VA3 CQG in Meadowvale has one. He's quite pleased with it. It's up about 20 odd feet anyway, 25 feet on a tower. He's very pleased with it. I'd kill for one of those.
Sure. Take it, Eric.
What was that site again, Mike? PDF.
I posted it there, but it's pdfdrive.com. Papa Delta Foxtrot Drive.com.
Yeah, Sal.
So check that out, guys. Take it, Eric.
All right. Sorry about that. We're back to recording here. Cherry, you are next on my list.
Hey, thanks, Eric. So what I'm doing these days, I'm trying to put a filter on my TS480L. So I just got that filter. This is the SSP narrow filter, like 1.8 kilohertz. It has been sitting here for a while, so I'm planning to put on sometime this week or next week. That's the only thing I'm doing these days. Otherwise, I have a lot of projects which I want to do. It's just building up. And I just want to start it as soon as I get some free time from work. So that's my plan. Not much. Yeah, and I'm planning to head to Dayton. Yeah, so that is also something which I want to do this year after 3 years. I think 2019 was my last one. After that, this is the first one. So I want to go to that this year. And also thanks for sharing all those photos, Eric, Peter, and also Mike. So those are pretty interesting. I think I should go to the Hamcation sometime this year. I think I should book the ticket and be ready for that. So that's the plan.
Okay, yeah, very good. Well, if you're looking for a place, remember we got that Airbnb. So if you haven't made any commitments yet, more than happy to.
Yeah, your number is 851-4180, right?
859-4180.
Oh, okay. Got it.
416.
Yeah, I'll call you sometime. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, sure. All right. Thanks very much, Jerry. Okay, Frank. I don't know if your ears were burning, but I was suggesting to the guys that on the way down, we stop in and on the way to Hamvention in May and stop in and have lunch with you. So
that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I won't be going to Dayton at all, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see some of you guys. Anyway, I still been working on my glue stick receiver, a direct conversion receiver. I didn't like the audio section, and after Peter's presentation here on the audio he was using, that he was very pleased with, I got a schematic from him and put it in myself. So I tore out the entire, and this is Manhattan style. So when you tear something out, you have to carefully do it, and put in the audio section that Peter used, and it works very, very well. I'm very happy with it. I'm working on solidifying things. I know, I'll show you. Yeah, there we go. You notice the bracket behind the glue stick now is solved any problems I had with it moving when I touched the dial. And there's one little section right about there that's, let me see, no, right here. And that's a Cascode mixer, and it uses 2 FETs. I'm tweaking that because it's not quite sensitive enough. So I'm hoping to get some more sensitivity out of it. Other than that, I may have to throw a preamp in. So that's what's been taking my time up. And I also enjoyed the presentation from the Florida Ham Fest. And I'm a little bit too old to get me going down there. But it's interesting to see that it's alive and well. So back to you there, Eric.
Okay, Peter had a question for you, I think, Frank.
I was just going to say, Frank, if you're going to look for a preamp, I really like the LT1253 op amp.
LT1253.
Yeah. That's
okay,
what
I'll go look it up later.
Yeah, that's what we're using in for a preamp in the Phoenix project, and also in the as another amplifier elsewhere in the circuit. Jim Cordage used it. That's where I got the idea from originally. So if you Google him, you'll find the basis of that. Sorry,
Frank. That's a good amplifier, but you have to be careful with that chip, because I found out this the hard way. That LT1253 cannot drive a capacitive load. So if you've got like a FET downstream or a MOSFET or something like that, it goes into oscillation. There's another chip I found, RF chip, and that chip is phenomenal. It's used in my Genesis SDR. Peter, you don't remember what it is off the top of your head, do you? Let me just open up my screen here.
No, I don't know, but you're right. I forgot about the fact that we had trouble with the 1253 with the capacitive load. And Frank, you're talking about with your FETs. So then you want to go to the chip that Dave's talking about.
It is the OPA 2674. And it only comes in a SOIC.
Mm-hmm.
And that chip is OPA, Oscar, Papa, Alpha, 2674, and get the 14-pin package. And if you need assistance in terms of what the pinouts are, because there's a bunch of control pins that it has, you just don't connect them. Just leave it, and it defaults to high gain. And the chip, I think it's cheaper than the 1253. The 1253 is about 12 or 13 bucks a chip. And this chip is, I think it's about $7. It's about $6 or $7.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dave. We'll look into it.
All right. I Thank you again, Frank, for sharing what's on your mind and on your bench. Howard, what's new with you?
I've been just working away on the SDR project, the T41. I think I might be able to show it here. I have it on sort of a little test bed. I don't know if you can see that or not. So I've got the receive, or the main board, and the quadrature receive board working. I'm just going to put the camera down. I might be able to turn it on. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah, we can see it.
So that's pretty well what I've been doing. So the next step is the next board, which is the quadrature exciter board. I'm gonna start doing that, and so just trying to learn the ins and outs of it. And it's been a good project for learning digital stuff and measurement as well. So that's pretty well what I've been working on.
Where'd you get that screen from?
Where to get the what?
The screen, like the LCD there. You've got a big LCD.
I was going to say screens are us. I'll look it up and send it to you, Dave.
What's driving that screen, by the way? Is it a Pi?
Yeah. No, it's a Teensy.
Oh, it's a Teensy driving that.
Yeah, 4.1.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, where did this design come from?
It was an open source T41, but there was a book that was published on it. So that's where it's from. I can send you the link if you like.
Yeah, no, just curious because I saw that screen, and that's a huge screen, and like for Teensy driving that, that's pretty good.
That's Jack Purdom, Dave. Dave, it's Jack Purdom.
Oh, is that
Jack's latest rig?
Oh, is that the Jack Purdom kit?
Yeah, the T41.
Oh, okay. That explains it.
That's probably why.
Okay, that explains.
Yeah, he has that book. I don't have it close by to grab, but that's what it's based on.
Okay, and it's got he's got a whole bunch of those 1-bit switches where he's got a huge matrix of switches, and you push them, and they're basically just like 1-bit switches or something like that. Yeah. Okay, check. I understand. Thanks.
No, that's pretty well what I've been doing.
Okay, thanks, Howard. Appreciate that. Thanks for the show and tell. And last on my screen here, we've lost a few, I see, but Russell, I guess. What have you been working on?
I was trying to turn off my mute. So the most recent thing I finished was I have a U-bit X that when it showed up, it had excessive carrier. So I took it apart to look at the mixers and mixer diodes. I didn't find anything, but when I reassembled it, the carrier was acceptable. I've checked into ONTARS and things a couple times and made some contacts in the ARRL contest on 10 meters CW. It could really use a narrow filter, but it doesn't have one. It's okay. It'll work for as a 222 IF, which is what it's going to be eventually when the HTX 100 finally dies of old age.
Yeah, it's nice when that works. It's not just restricted to other bits of electronics or dishwashers, but just sometimes taking it apart and putting it back together magically changes something in the ether. So.
Something. I don't know what. Never found it, but it's working adequately now.
Yeah, very good. Okay, great. And I think that was it. I believe I've covered everybody on the call. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's pretty close to being a wrap, unless anyone has any other business to bring up. If not, Ken, yes.
Yeah, I wanted to repeat what I said earlier. Any of the new people that joined us tonight, if you could join our groups IO, and I think we had 3 people join tonight.
So we're up to 26 members now.
All right, nice. Yep, absolutely. Also, just to let you know, in case anyone that's still on the call here is interested in that Hammond Museum of Radio, that did not happen earlier this afternoon as originally scheduled. I got a message yesterday around lunchtime from the curator saying that she had torn some muscles in her torso and, was in quite severe pain, spent a few hours in the emergency department and was scheduled to see a physician today in the afternoon. So she said, there's no way I can do that and offer you guys a tour. So we're going to give her a few weeks to recuperate and then try and reschedule for Wednesday later towards the end of the month. So anyway, if anyone is available for a midweek, mid-afternoon visit to the Guelph Hammond Museum of Radio, keep that in mind. I'll post it when we've got a date firmed up. So
post that on this. Post that on the SOAREX group.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. Okay. So that's it. Next meeting is the regular on Wednesday, March 15th. So looking forward to seeing all of you and more there. So POA, enjoy the rest of your whatever week left I think you got in sunny Florida. And happy making contacts. That's what you've been doing, right? On those all those fairway shots you've been doing. You've been setting up your buddy pole and making contacts.
I tell you, I'm looking forward to coming back north of the 49th because I found my golf swing down here. I'm actually getting more than one. I had about 4 pars this week, 5 bogeys. I'm doing great.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. Well, 7-3, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Take care.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey, Eric, don't forget to send me the